What's up, guys? Welcome back to Triple Threat Analysis. This is our Raw and Smackdown recap for this week. We're kind of changing how we're doing it. Instead of us going through each individual thing that happened on both shows, we've all picked a couple topics that we want to talk about. We'll talk about those, and then we'll talk about the main events of every show. How y'all feeling today, boys?
Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, we're getting closer and closer each week to WrestleMania, and it's an exciting time. We're getting more and more stories laid out for us on the road to WrestleMania, and it's feeling good.
Sure, we got more matches taking shape. Kind of see where we're going. How about you, Glenn? How you doing?
I was doing better till Cody won, but I mean, we're still good right now, We're like David says, storylines are building. This is an exciting time of the year for multiple sports. But wrestling, WrestleMania season is always the best. And we sat through about 4 months of trash to get here, so I'm happy.
For sure. We are, we've been saying it every week since the Rumble, but we are well on the way on the road to WrestleMania. And so with that, we're going to do what we're calling like our, hot topic roundtable. We've each chosen 2 topics that we want to talk about from the week's shows. This week we happen to all choose one from each show. So we're going to start with what we chose for SmackDown. Let's get you started, Dave.
For sure. So my moment from SmackDown this week was technically 2 moments from SmackDown this week, but they involve the same person. It's Sami Zayn's backstage interactions with both Cody and Randy Orton. Personally, and we've talked about it a little bit in the past, like I'm just not a huge fan of Sami Zayn. I never really have been, but the character that they're starting to kind of mold for him in these backstage interactions since losing his title match to Drew McIntyre has actually had me pretty intrigued and pretty entertained. So I really do want to see like what route they take with him moving forward after all this backstage work that he's been putting in.
Yeah, it definitely does seem we're getting kind of a different side of Sammy in the last few weeks. But to me, like, it still feels at the heart of it, it's just that same underdog thing that, Sammy always
Yeah.
is. And so I don't think WWE is actually going to move towards a edgier Sammy that would really do anything for me, at least. But I mean, I guess you never know. What about you, Glenn? You got any thoughts about Sammy?
Just yeah, I mean, simply the same thing that everybody was sick and tired of. Same old Sami Zayn. It's the same thing every match with him. He's the underdog kid that gets beat up the whole match, and then he does his little Aluva kick in the corner eventually, and then I mean it's the same thing over and over with him. All the segments are the same. Like I almost won. I could be the champ. Like we're just something dramatic has to change with him. I do think they're building it though. I disagree that they're not gonna do anything with him. They kind of don't have a choice. Like they paid him a good amount of money. He has to do something. There's stories there for him, so I do feel like it is an exciting thing to see maybe a little transformation. Maybe we don't get the same old Sammy for once. So I mean, that's kind of it with him because unless they do change it, no one really wants to see him with the belt.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it just kind of feels like it's going to end up being the same kind of Sammy Zayn storyline that we are accustomed to. But I mean, like I said, you never know. I mean, I hope they end up going a different direction with Sammy because I think I've always liked Sammy, but the Sammy it's getting old. It is old, not getting old. It is old. So
Yeah.
I'd be pretty excited if it did go a different direction. What about you, Glenn? What's your SmackDown topic?
Well, let's go from old to new with old in the ring. We're gonna talk about Trick Williams starting the show with Randy Orton in the ring after his little celebration. This is actually to me a really big deal because they've already put like Trick Williams just came up. Like you saw, they brought up Powerhouse Hobbs. This guy's we haven't seen him since. They brought up like a bunch of other guys from NXT. They were on the absolute low card or no card for months. Trick Williams came up. The guy was already in the Elimination Chamber #1. The guy was already like in big matches talking about winning belts and stuff like that. Now Randy Orton's in the ring and Trick Williams comes in. And I don't think he overshadowed Randy. You can't really overshadow Randy. Crowd was pumped for Trick
Mhm.
Williams again. So this is huge because finally someone came up with all the aura, all the like momentum, and they're keeping it. Even Obafemi, in my opinion, he's not losing it, but it's like well, my thing about Raw, I have a minute, so I won't talk too much about it. But just it's an exciting thing because they're using Trick Williams right. Trick Williams is coming out at the right moments. You could bring him out and he can do anything. He could have won the belt, and you would be like, you know what? So
Mhm.
I'm just happy to see that my boy Trick Williams, because I since day one, and even without I mean, the song obviously makes him more, popping, but even without that, he's just an amazing wrestler. He's got the talent and everything. So I'm just glad that WWE's not fumbling this. And I'm hoping that whoever wins the belt, whether Randy or Cody or whatever they do with Fatu, Drew, whatever, that Trick Williams gets a shot, soon. So that would be great. Just put him right in the belt, see what he can do in that big moment, because they're testing him for that. That's what I want. So yeah, that's my moment because I think it signifies Trick Williams is ready.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, they've been putting Trick in some big spots since he came up, especially having him work with. I mean, they've had how many interactions with Randy now between them two?
And
So
no
like,
practice. Like he's this is
yeah,
just all like, yo, Trick, go. And he's
hmm
like he can't do any better than he's doing. That's the thing. Not only
Hmm.
are they pushing him to where to all the big moments, but he's succeeding. And
yeah.
the crowd is reacting. So everything all in one, this guy will be champ by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding his own and looking good doing it. I wouldn't be mad or surprised if he won the title, like, the big title soon. He's been so different than what normally happens when they bring up an NXT guy and they have him maybe fight for the mid-card belt or in some like useless feud. But he's been up with the main eventers and really holding his own. Any thoughts about Trick, David?
No, I mean, I think you guys have kind of hit the nail on the head, or all the nails on the head. I mean, there's a lot that you can say about Trick Williams, but I think you guys pretty much covered most of it. I mean, he's very entertaining. He's great on the mic. He can hang in the ring with just about anybody, whether it's wrestling or on the microphone. And, he ate that RKO from Randy by the end of it, but you're building Randy to the main event of WrestleMania, so he kind of has to eat that RKO. But he
Mm-hmm.
still, during his time in there, during his time with Randy, he proved that he can hang with one of the best to ever do it.
For sure. I'm excited to see where they go, especially heading into WrestleMania with Trick. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. Like, what do we think Trick's gonna be doing at WrestleMania? I mean, he's been having these moments with people who he's obviously not going to be have a match with at WrestleMania. Do we lead to him? I mean, he's had a lot of moments with Sammy, so are we leading to him versus Sammy at Mania?
Could be like a
That's a good
Sammy
question.
breaking point. Like if
Yeah.
if he loses the trick at Mania, it could be like the Sammy breaking point that WWE is looking for to truly turn him over into a different character. But
hmm
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a great question because you don't know. That's the thing. You can do anything with him, but you can also do nothing with him, and then he could come out on Raw
Hmm.
the next day and still pop the same way if he had a match at WrestleMania. So I don't necessarily think he needs a match at WrestleMania, but it would be great. He doesn't have an insane story right now. Like there's no one where like it's just so like soon. I'd like him to be involved in either the Intercontinental or US, but some kind of like, or maybe there's like a ladder. I don't know. There's a lot of people in that you have to have like a bunch of guys that aren't in the main belt and good mid card type guys in one big match, maybe a battle royale. If they're doing the Andre the Giant thing, maybe he's in that and he like wins that or something. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with him, but if he's not on the WrestleMania card, while it would be a little disappointing, he could come out on Raw the next day and open the show, and he would still get a pop the same exact way. So, he at least he's got that going.
I will say I think I disagree. I think he does need to be on the card for WrestleMania, especially with how hot he has been since he came up. I think he needs to be on the card, and we get that whoop that trick WrestleMania moment. I think he does need to be
That'd
on
be
the
great
card,
as long
and
as they don't make him lose. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
if you want to put him on the card, he has to win. So I don't think
yeah.
it could be versus like a Sammy because I think they want Sammy to win. But I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
But like David said, if I think they could very easily lead into a Trick versus Sammy match at Mania with how they've been interacting the last few weeks. And like David said, it could be Sammy's breaking point. Or we could get Trick is supposed to be a heel, but he does not get crowd reactions like a heel. So if they turn him like full babyface at Mania against a heel turn for Sammy or something along those lines, I think it would work really well. And it would be, a WrestleMania moment worthy of Trick.
Two songs that the crowd would like sing to
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
Sammy's song is a banger in terms of the crowd. So that would be a good crowd thing too for sure if they did that.
Yeah.
definitely.
So as much as Sammy is getting old, I think he might be the perfect like first, Mania match for Trick.
What about you, Nick? What's your moment?
So mine is the Rhea and Jade promo, first face to face since Rhea won the Elimination Chamber. And my thoughts on this, like, I thought it was really underwhelming. Like, it was just
Wow.
a promo about how big their muscles are, Like, to me, it wasn't really substantial enough, right? At least leading into a title match at WrestleMania. Rhea definitely outshined Jade on the mic, like I think, we all thought she would. But to me, it was underwhelming. What do y'all think?
I mean, I think there was a lot of like hidden messages within it as well that like some people picked up on, some people didn't. Jade's left-handed handshake is something that like not a lot of people are going to notice, but in certain cultures and certain communities, like that is top level disrespect. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this fake handshake with my left hand because I'm not shaking your hand with the real one. But I did think it was pretty good. You are correct. Rhea definitely outshined Jade on the mic. But this was their first meeting. At the time, we still had, I believe it was still 7 weeks at the time until WrestleMania. So we have a lot of build up, a lot of time. And you know what? Like this match is going to kind of be built around these two muscular, strong women. You know, like that they've kind of been trying to build Raquel this way, but Rhea has always been, you know, WWE's current day China. Let's be real. Like
Hmm.
she throws guys around. She does whatever she wants to do. So obviously we all believe Jade probably could throw like some of the guys around in the ring, but Rhea's truly that muscular test that Jade hasn't seen yet.
Right.
You know what? Like, I disagree. He even said it, in our little chat. I only took me that little promo to be sold on this match. I knew, like, we knew that Rhea kind of had, or Raquel, but we knew Rhea kind of had to be the one to test the Jade thing because she hasn't had no one to test. And you're not going to be, even if it's Raquel versus Jade at WrestleMania, you wouldn't be, like, we'd be excited for Raquel's moment and to see what Jade actually has. But Rhea versus Jade just is another
Yeah.
notch. And just the promo itself, I thought was actually good. Like, I don't think it was underwhelming. I thought it was exactly what we needed just to get the little bit of hype that we need. This is only the first week of like 6 before, they're gonna do a lot more. To me, I liked it. I thought it was good. I was like, okay, this can actually be something, especially like with the fake, real, whatever Twitter beef and stuff like that going on. Then you get
Mm.
this. I'm sold, man. I'm hyped for the match. I think now it might not be if you've watched Jade in AEW and even here in WWE, you'll realize that like the wrestling match is probably not going to be Io Sky versus like Kyrie's or something like that. But
Hmm.
it could still be good, and it should be good because no matter who Rhea fights, it's a good match. So I'm excited for it. I didn't think it was too underwhelming. We're gonna get more. And like I said, I'm sold that this could be something that can be a good build up for sure.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know it was their first face-to-face meeting and all that, but like to me, like I said, it just felt so like, surface level, or like it felt like another instance of WWE just like having to over explain things that we can just clearly tell. Like we both know, like we all know and can see that they're both, big and muscular and strong and all that. Like, did we really need a whole promo about just that, and comparing it to like how like Liv and Steph have been interacting on Raw, like that's like really personal and really deep, and it like then going like from like Rhea and Jade's like social media interactions to going from what that is to going to this promo. I don't know, it just felt like a, step down to me, but I'm still excited for the match. And obviously there's a long time to build it, but and it'll get better. But I thought this, this first face to face was kind of underwhelming.
I'll say the one immediate difference, just because you brought up like the difference between Jade and Rhea's interaction and then like Liv and Stephanie's. Liv and Stephanie has kind of been being built already for so long. Even while Liv was out with her injury, we kind of knew and felt like that match was being built towards WrestleMania with all the interactions between Stephanie and Raquel and all that stuff. So it was going
Right.
to be more emotional, more deep, and more everything like that from the get-go. And I think they just have to put in the work to make Rhea and Jade become that same level of intensity.
Yeah, sure. And I think it will get there, and it'll probably get there pretty quickly because, I
Definitely.
mean, just with who they both are. All
Hold
right.
on, right before we go to the Raw thing, right before I know we're gonna do Raw right now, just
Uh-huh.
real quick. You know Stephanie again is still wearing pants? I'm getting sick of it. Enough. Like, and I even like my fiance, she was like, "What do you expect her to do? She's not even fighting. You want her cheeks out when she's not fighting?"
Yes.
Yes, yes, I do. Let's move on. Let's do Raw now.
We need to start a movement for Glenn. All
Hashtag
right.
no more pants.
That's a scary hashtag. All right, David. What what's your raw moment for the week?
My moment of Raw this week was new WWE superstar Danhausen cursing OG El Grande Americano backstage after El Grande Americano told him no, he cannot borrow his mask, cannot wear his mask, cannot try it on. We've seen Danhausen now after he cursed Dom and Dom lost the IC title. My biggest question, I think, to you guys is like, how serious do we think WWE is going to take the Danhausen curse? because Nick, I'm sure you might not be fully aware, but Glenn, I think you are. Danhausen's curse in the past when he was in AEW was not something that was taken seriously every time he said it. There were times where he
Yeah.
could say it and it would come true and it would surprise him. And then there would be other times he would just be saying, "You are cursed," to everybody. And just the show went on like he wasn't even there.
Yeah,
So I'm
it was
interested.
more like his shtick rather than
Yeah.
it actually being a thing.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
interested to
I
see
think
what you guys think. Like, is going to come from it? Like, do we think now that this instantly means that OG El Grande Americano is losing in this match to the other El Grande Americano this coming week on Raw? I wanted to make that my moment just to hear your guys' thoughts on it more so.
yeah, I mean, I think WWE proved that they're gonna take it, at least semi seriously by having the Intercontinental Champion lose, right? I mean, right off the bat, having the IC champ lose the title after getting cursed. I mean,
Dom too, like,
yeah, and having it be Dom lose, like
yeah,
I think they proved like right off the bat that they're gonna take it at least semi seriously. Now, obviously, he's not gonna, I don't think he's gonna go around cursing like the main event guys quite yet.
right.
But I mean, if he can go around cursing these mid carders, that it doesn't hurt the landscape to have them lose. Like I think it's already over, and I think they'll keep it taking it pretty seriously.
Whatever WWE needs to do to get Danhausen to sell T-shirts, they're gonna do. If that means he has to curse Cody Rhodes tomorrow, they'll do
Yeah,
it because he is already the number one seller in T-shirts over the last week,
yeah.
like that, and we
Mm,
haven't even seen him in a match yet. So this is what this guy does. He sells T-shirts. People love. That's why I was so disappointed when he came out the. I thought him coming out the box, the coffin with the girls and stuff was amazing, but I get it. It was like people kind of didn't know who he was, whatever, this and that. But I'm telling you, that's why I was so disappointed because I know that all he has to do is be on the show once and everyone's gonna love him, and
mhm.
that's what we're getting right now. So with him, whatever it's gonna take to get him over, to be like the next freaking Fandango, but better, the next Tyler Breeze, but a way better, just whatever it's gonna take, they'll do. And he will put on some curses, they will work. And I think that they're building something with the AAA thing because again, first it was Dom, now it's El Grande Americano. I think they might have him wrestle in AAA for a little bit before he wrestles on the WWE roster, just to see what he's got. Just maybe he's fighting freaking I don't know, Microman or something. Maybe something funny, like hilarious, like that will happen. So we'll see what happens with that. But I do think they're building something for AAA right now with Denhausen. Eventually, when he wrestles down there.
And I
Yeah,
do
I'll
think
bet
that makes a lot
money.
of sense. Like WWE typically sends all most of these guys that we've seen them sign from AEW, they still send down to NXT first because they want them to get accustomed to how different the WWE lifestyle is compared to outside in different companies. So, and I think with Danhausen, obviously we've seen him appear on the main roster right away. And I think if they do set him up to go to AAA, maybe that'll be their way of like acclimating him for a little bit longer first before he actually gets into the WWE ring.
Yeah, for sure. And I do want to say, like, for such the negative reaction that he had when he debuted, like the crowd is chanting, "You are cursed now," right?
He is
Like
over.
Bro, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
gotten over so quickly.
Yeah.
Like Glenn said, like I mean, it's hard not to love him and what he's doing, and especially like if you follow him on social media, like he's even more funny on Twitter. Like it's hilarious, and I love Danhausen, and I've only known really known who he is for 2 weeks now. So yeah, and I will bet money that we get a mystery iguana Danhausen match in the next few months,
That would
Or
be
tag
good.
team. One or the other.
or
Like
a
Yeah.
tag
they either
team.
tag
Yeah.
team, yeah. They can
Yeah.
tag team versus the other two Grande Americanos or something will
Hmm.
happen for sure at AAA.
Yeah. Right. So my raw moment. Oh wait, Glenn, go ahead.
You want me to go? Okay. I'll
Yeah.
make mine short and simple. This is gonna be like straight away to the point. Oba versus Rusev is a big moment, not because of the match, but because that means that we won't get Oba versus Rusev at WrestleMania. It means that my dream of Brock Lesnar versus Rusev, Rusev versus Oba Femi could definitely happen. That's what I want. WWE, do not fumble this. You give us Brock versus Obafemi. You let Obafemi win that match to start the journey of Brock Lesnar retiring at SummerSlam, and then he'll lose at SummerSlam again. Let Brock Lesnar go out the way everyone else went, where they lost, and build someone up. Oba's the guy. I want that at WrestleMania. Don't mess it up. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's not really much else to
No,
say about that.
no, I agree.
Brock is on Raw next Monday. It'll be his first, like open
Open
challenge thing or
challenge.
whatever that he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I thought Oba versus Rusev, like I knew obviously Oba was gonna win, and I knew it wasn't going to be like a really competitive match, but I thought it was going to be more competitive than it was. But well, my Raw moment is Finn getting kicked out of the Judgment Day. And my theme for these two, I guess, is kind of like I also thought this was underwhelming for how long it's
Mhm.
been teased and, building up and building up and building up. I thought their back and forth was kind of underwhelming. Obviously, like it's the right decision, and I'm, excited to have Solo, Finn, and we're probably going to get like Finn and Dom coming up, and that'll cook. But I just thought the actual like them I just thought the actual, kicking out or whatever beat down of Finn was kind of underwhelming. But what do y'all think?
Man, I was a really big fan of the way it was done. It was kind of a callback, and again, something that you're not going to think of immediately, but it was kind of a callback to Finn Balor making his big famous turn when he was down in NXT, and it was done really well. And I think the fans that understand that once JD got involved, and it was truly the beginning of the end for Finn Balor, and it makes it a little more emotional watching. And WWE did a really good job. Michael Cole was saying like JD is here because of Finn Balor. Finn Balor brought him to WWE, made sure he got his opportunity. So I do disagree. I think it was done really well. I think it started strange. Like I think just the way, he was kind of called out and all that, like I think it started strange, but I think the actual
Yeah.
way that they did the sequencing of everything was really well put together.
I mean, I guess like that's kind of my main problem with it is how it started and like is how like the whole segment started with him having to get called out or whatever. Like I don't know, that just felt really clunky to me, and it did end right. Like you said, JD, ending up attacking Finn is obviously a huge deal, and so I do agree. Maybe it's not as underwhelming as I originally thought, but like you said, the first part of it was definitely clunky and not great for me. What
Yeah,
about you,
real
Glenn?
fast, I'll just add that I understand both sides where Nick said it was a little underwhelming and David said, but if you watch NXT, it was an ode to how the heel turn happened, all that. But here's what I'm gonna say. I'm so sick and tired of you having to gobble the person that you're fighting with. Like, I respect you. I think shut up. We don't want to see that for 10 minutes before you get beat down. And I think that's what Nick is trying to say here is that
Yeah.
for how long this has been built up, for the animosity that it seemed was building up, we still
Hmm.
got, I really do respect your game, Dom. I think that, you're great. You're one of the best. You could be the best Mysterio ever. Shut up. Just
Yeah.
like tell him do shit yourself. Do it on your own. You can't need help every single time. That's pathetic. No one takes you seriously. Build it up the right way before you do something good after, which again, the ending to me, great. The way they beat him down, awesome. JD attacking him, awesome storyline, awesome build. But I agree 100% that it was started so slow and like you're sitting there like, come on, can you stop jocking this guy? Like, fight.
Yeah.
The whole thing where you basically cost him his belt and you're sitting
Hmm.
there like, I respect you. You gotta do it on your own though. You asked for this. Stop. So again, I agree with both of you. I think Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania could be an absolute banger, should be an absolute banger. I want Demon Finn though.
Yeah.
Give it
Yeah.
Absolutely.
to us. You didn't give him the belts. You've been pushing him back. You've been pushing him back. He doesn't even do the thing like this when his song comes on, especially like going onto the ring. I thought he was gonna do it. He didn't do it. So you better give that to us at WrestleMania because 50% 50% of WrestleMania is the entrances. I
Yeah.
need that beast ass entrance from Finn, or
Yeah.
else it's gonna be like. So let me get that, and we're good.
Yeah. So like, yeah, Glenn basically hit it right on the head with what I'm feeling. Like, I needed it to be like more like hateful. I
Yeah.
would have preferred them like have like some sort of like have that back and forth this week without the beatdown, and then like it'd
Yeah.
be like really really tension, and then next week have
Do the
them come out
beatdown.
like hate each other and then
Yeah.
beat down. Like that's what I would like. Just another, I think another week would have really helped it kind of hit harder. But like I said, hopefully like Glenn said, hopefully it leads to Demon Finn, and we'll all be happy. All right. Now we're gonna move on to the main events from each show. Let's start with SmackDown, which obviously was Cody versus Drew for the WWE Championship. Obviously, Cody wins. How'd y'all feel about the match? My main takeaway was from this, like, it was never announced that it was a no DQ, but it was treated like a no DQ. just the whole match was treated like a no DQ, and it was really odd because it wasn't announced to be that. But what'd y'all think of the match? And obviously Cody winning.
I mean, I think it was overall like a pretty decent match for the amount of time they allowed it on SmackDown. Like, it's definitely a title match that should have been given a much longer period of time to
Mm-hmm.
be entertaining with the two names that were in the ring, especially. There were a lot of ads early on in the match again, you know what I mean? We've been talking about how many ads have been running through Raw and SmackDown lately. It's been absolutely crazy. Obviously, Cody winning is we talked about it, you know, in weeks past. We really thought Drew deserved to be that carry the title into WrestleMania guy. Make this a multi-man match in a way after Cody losing where people are still just more frustrated and forcing their hand and whatnot. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it's just WWE saying, hey, maybe ticket sales are struggling for WrestleMania. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's a handful of things. Having the belt on your quarterback one on Cody Rhodes, it's that's the smartest business decision you can make heading into WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Glenn.
Yeah, I literally like what you said first. Is it ticket sales? Yes. That's 85% of the reason why Cody won that match. Drew was not selling tickets. Drew was not going to sell tickets. Drew cannot sell tickets. Cody Rhodes will sell more. I don't know how much more, but he'll sell more. And QB1, literally a perfect like that's what they've been saying all on the shows. Oh, you're QB1, this and that. That's what he is. And we've said it like again, like David said, we've said it for weeks. We don't want it to happen, but we understand it. Like, you know,
I
when
don't
your
want it to
parent
happen.
tells you you'll understand when you get older. Well, we just aged in 2 weeks because Cody winning is what's best for business, like the old Triple H authority saying was. But here's what I am gonna say. I was shocked about two things. I was shocked there was no interference in terms of like we didn't get like a possible triple threat fatal four-way type of thing. And I was shocked at how bad, well, not bad, but I was just shocked at how like Drew just went out. Like why? Why? What did he do? Besides, I know he's not selling tickets, but you did back-to-back WrestleManias at Vegas. You're going to Saudi next year. Like people are, and the ticket prices are insane. I don't think it's just because of Drew. So why does Drew get the shit end of the stick here?
Again,
I'm obviously confused and baffled. He's done nothing wrong. His promos have been great. He's still doing exactly what he's always been doing. I just kind of feel bad for the guy. He's rich. He'll be fine. But I don't get it in terms of his side. Like, what does he do now? Right? If I get Drew versus Fatu in a cage or something, okay. But like, sheesh, I don't understand the Drew side of it. But we're not seeing the numbers. We don't know the business side. They do. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. I just feel bad for Drew.
Yeah. With it not being any sort of like major interference in the match, like it kind of feels like we're not really heading towards that multi-man match that we thought we
uh,
would. We're just heading towards straight Randy versus Cody for the title, which obviously that's going to
which
be a
is
good
still
match. And
really good. Yeah, that's still
yeah,
a
Yeah,
really
it's
good,
still a
like,
great.
something we can look forward to.
yeah, like
But
that's great.
they
Like
had it. They had a killer fatal four way right there on the
yeah,
table, ready to go.
yeah, for sure. Um, so I mean, let's say Randy Cody is something that we've wanted for a long time, and we're finally getting. It's going to be great, but like Glenn said, for on the Drew's end, like he put the company on his back during COVID, and he never really got rewarded for it, and now they give him the title, and it ends up being this. So
Can
it
we
it
hold on real fast? I don't want to interrupt. Just can we go down the Drew McIntyre storyline here? COVID carries the company. Fantastic. We're at home. We can't be out. We're watching. He's freaking fantastic. Then the WrestleMania in Tampa Bay, very just not giving Drew what he deserves there. Then he's having matches with Jelly Roll and all this crap. You finally give him the belt again. He is so close to WrestleMania having the belt again, and you take it away. And then last year, the Philadelphia WrestleMania we went to, the guy has the belt for what,
5 minutes.
12 seconds, and then Damian Priest comes in and takes the belt from like what the act. They are doing this man dirty. And it's like he has the Dolph Ziggler thing going on where it's like he's gonna get drewed every time. And it's just what the hell? But maybe he's okay with it. Maybe he understands that sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to question what the hell this poor guy or whatever, so that when he eventually gets it back, maybe you support the damn guy. Maybe you buy the tickets that you weren't buying before. So I don't know. I'm confused. but I'm gonna give it a chance to see what happens. We still don't know what he's gonna do at WrestleMania. We don't know if he's making a movie, like Nick said. I mean, we don't know. We don't know anything right now. So it's just that every time WrestleMania season comes, this guy gets screwed, and is he gonna leave? Like, I think he just signed a new contract though, because he
Yeah.
there was talk of him going to AEW, and I think, but he got signed and it was fine. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, if it does end up just being Drew versus Jacob at Mania, I mean, it's going to be a good match, but it's not like it elevates Jacob and makes Drew fall down, you know? It doesn't do anything for Drew at all. It just really elevates Jacob. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It does feel bad for Drew, but I mean, that's where we are, and Cody, he sells tickets, and the American Nightmare is your WWE champion again. Be sad about it. All right, let's move on to Raw. The main event was actually just a promo, which happens all the time on Raw. It was Punk coming out talking about Roman, and then gets interrupted by the Usos, and they want an apology for what they said, for what Punk said about Roman's father last week. This felt weird for me, like this whole interaction with the Usos, and especially Jay. Like Jay annoys me and has been annoying me for some time, but specifically this, like, Jimmy just feels so much more intimidating and real, and
He's natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just feels natural. Like Jay just feels like a cartoon character, especially when he's trying to like go up against Punk on the mic. Like, like, I don't know. But I mean, I also really don't know.
You notice how Jimmy was just standing still the whole time, looking him dead
Mhm.
in his eyes, and Jay's over there like pumping and dumping and just like, "Oh, you better apologize," and he's like flipping around. It's like, we don't need all that. Like, I agree. I 100% agree with the fact that Jay
Yeah.
makes things awkward, and
Yeah.
he's good enough where he doesn't have to do that. Like,
Mhm.
I love Jay. I just, that whole thing with him where he just tries to like act so gangster and so tough is like, listen, we know the story where you came from, this and that, but your brother, I've been saying this since day one, is the one that should have got that push, but he don't got the cool Yeet song and all that. So of course
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's gonna be different. But
Yeah.
I do agree the promo felt a little bit weird. Punk didn't apologize. I like that he didn't apologize because it builds more story coming up. Y'all didn't think The Rock was ever gonna come back or nothing like that. I feel like this is building up for him to come back. You talking about the family again. Something big is gonna happen where someone's gonna be really pissed the hell off. I think it's gonna be The Rock. That like, this is the way you get The Rock in for 10 minutes and he don't have to be at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
I do think that's where it leads to. So that's where I'm at on that segment.
Yeah, and this whole thing, like having to have the Usos come out and further the story with Punk and Roman just because Roman can't show up every week. Yeah, at least that's how it feels to me. Like, and obviously we don't want to just hear Roman and Punk talk every week, but like, to me, like, this doesn't really further. We're gonna see some sort of match between them at some point. It's not on the leading up to WrestleMania, and it's gonna be not great, at least in my opinion. What
I
do you
mean, I
think, David?
definitely do think, like, obviously we know that we're not going to get Roman every single week on the road to WrestleMania. Maybe not afterwards if he wins the title, who knows? But if they were going to go as hard as they did with Punk's line about Roman's father just last week, like, even if you don't bill it as, hey, Roman's showing up, I think Roman should have surprise showed up this week on Raw and just been
Yeah,
like, nobody talks about my effing father that way. I'm here to
yeah.
beat your ass. Like,
You can't end the show like that and then not have him on the
right, and
next
then
week's show.
he'll be back next week to respond to Punk. Like,
Like,
he could have
ooh.
been here this week to respond to Punk.
Yeah,
Like,
like two
clearly he's
weeks
not that
But
later,
I
upset.
like,
think, so you guys are right in a sense where like, if that's just what it's gonna be, where Roman's just pissed off, he should have been here. But I think they're building it bigger where the entire
Mhm.
family is gonna be pissed off. So I think Rakishi's gonna come in, no, but I feel like maybe this is a place where Zilla Fatu finally appears. I think they're building this where it's all the Samoans versus Punk, basically. And I think that Roman does win with the family behind him or something like that. So I think they're building something bigger than just Punk versus Roman. So I
mm,
think starting in with the Usos, and then next week, who maybe even Jacob Fatu has pissed off. They're all family. Who knows? I don't know what's gonna go on. But I do think they're building it where the whole family's gonna be pissed off. Everyone's gonna make, because when we were in Philadelphia, when we did the Philadelphia thing and they had that crazy build up, the one thing that happened was Rock slapping Cody because he talked about his family. So I feel like they're trying to do that again, where they're trying to
yeah,
build it up by showing absolute disrespect and that one side is really pissed off and the other side has to defend themselves. That's what I think they're doing. So if
yeah,
that's what they're doing, this is what had to be done this week. But if Rock doesn't come, if Fatu's not pissed off, if Rikishi's not coming or saying like even doing like a video or whatever and just shitting on him, or Zilla Fatu doesn't come, then I feel like it was a big waste. Roman should have been here this week to build the absolute hatred more. So we'll see
Yeah.
where it goes. That's why that's the beauty of the WWE and the scripts and all this stuff is that we don't know where it's going right now, and that's a good thing because usually we just know. We don't know right now, so I'm actually like intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, I will say like this angle that they're doing for the Punk and Roman is the best possible thing that they could have built up to this WrestleMania match, and it's definitely going to lead. And Punk is probably the only one that can say this kind of stuff and not be the heel in the interaction. You know,
Yeah.
right?
Everyone
He's
also
the
knows, again, like just real quick, the amount of respect Punk actually does have for the Samoans and the fact that he
Yeah.
lived in their house and they took
Yeah.
care of him and stuff. That's why that is the beauty of wrestling. That someone that truly loves the Samoan family, someone that respects them more than almost anyone else, is now having a feud with the head of the table. Like that's just the beauty of wrestling, man. They can sell
Yeah.
you on anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like bringing up, the lead up to WrestleMania a couple of years ago with Cody and Roman, to make that hit as hard as they did, they had to bring in Seth and The Rock to make it hit. I don't think we need that to make this hit with Punk and Roman. Like, I think if we just build it with Punk and Roman with this kind of angle, like, I think it could be as good as the build up to Cody and Roman. Because I think like Punk is just like love that that level above Cody, especially like on the mic, obviously. And then just as far as like what he's willing to say and able to say.
Mhm.
So like even if we don't get like all the Samoans coming in and The Rock, like I think like Punk and Roman can build this match themselves and have a great build up.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts? All right, cool. So we're gonna start something new this week. We're each gonna choose a match of the week and a superstar of the week. All right. What's your match of the week, David?
My match of the week is heading back to SmackDown. It's going to be the number one contenders tag team turmoil gauntlet, whatever you want to call it. I do have one slight issue with the match, but I'll get into the reason that I picked it for my match of the week. We got to see a bunch of the tag teams that we've been missing on SmackDown for the last many, many months now at this point. Fraxium and I mean, even the Wyatts coming out and just being able to see them face off against somebody that's not the MFTs, and obviously Motor City Machine Guns being in there. And then, even Priest and Truth, like they are very entertaining together. They do have their, history and whatnot, but that's also slightly my problem is because we did finally get to see all of these SmackDown tag teams that we've been missing for so long. And then the victory goes to the team that was just thrown together for a couple laughs, it feels like.
Yeah.
So I am interested to see maybe this is how we get the tag titles off of the MFT so that we can go back to showing off all these amazing tag teams that SmackDown does hold currently. But I can also see it just going back to another MFT versus Wyatt's kind of battle between everybody there.
Any thoughts about that, Glenn?
Oh, that's. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, I don't
and
have
he
anything else
said
to
it.
add either.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah.
and it was good. Like I did enjoy it. That's only I can say is that it was good. I appreciate that we finally got to see, like David said, all the teams that made the division so great for so long, and like the team that finally wins is Archer and Priest, and it was a little just like what in the hell. I thought they were gonna do Danhausen and Truth, but I guess Priest and Danhausen. I mean, the Truth have a lot to do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we get that at least.
What's your match of the week, Glenn?
So not that gauntlet, but the opposite gauntlet with the women. And Bailey winning. I said this like 3 weeks ago. They can't just keep throwing Bailey in the trash. They can't just keep like she comes in and just loses every single time. I knew eventually they had to give her because she'll go to AEW with Sasha Banks and tear the damn roof off over there. They cannot lose her. Not to AEW. You want to lose her to ROH or something? No problem. Cannot lose at AEW. So they had to give her this. She did this whole crazy. What the hell happened to that? She did like the crazy thing with Lyra, where she was just like 1 second. Well, I'm going back to happy girl, and then she's crazy for the next minute. Nothing came of that. So, like letting her win this and possibly getting Bailey versus freaking AJ Lee NXT days, and still could possibly get a triple threat with Becky Lynch as well. Talk about NXT throwback. That would be amazing. You get that triple threat. Maybe this is where we get it. We didn't get it in any of the men's matches. Maybe this is
Yeah.
where we get it. So that would be great if that's what it leads to. But regardless, if we get AJ Lee versus Bailey at WrestleMania, that's fantastic as well. If they'll do the oh hey Bailey in the crowd, they'll chant for AJ Lee, whatever. Then it'll be a great test for AJ Lee because Bailey can wrestle in that damn ring, just like Becky
Hmm.
can. So I liked it because the result was solid for me. But again, what the hell is Io gonna do? Like I don't know what's going on. Like she's too big of a name not to be at WrestleMania. So we got to get something. Rhea's now obviously in the title match. Is Io just going to be like in some mid card thing? I don't know what's going to go on, but she can't miss WrestleMania. She has to be there. So that's kind of my thing. Where do we go with Io now?
Yeah. I mean, we saw Io kind of hint that she wanted to go after the U.S. championship. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, with Rhea on SmackDown now, I mean, we can get Io on SmackDown too, going after Julia. I mean, Raquel, like, what are we doing with Raquel now?
Her
I
too.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. Her
Yeah.
too.
yeah. I mean, she had all this momentum, and we kind of talked about this last week and how, like, it's kind of a step down going into this,
And now
into
she
this
can't even win
Gauntlet
that.
match. And
And
now
now
she's
she
not
lost.
even, like, fighting for the title.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I don't Raquel, like, momentum stalled, like,
This
it's dead.
does truly feel like the one title though, where if we're gonna get a multi-man or multi-woman match for any of these
This
titles, like it does truly feel like it's gonna be the women's IC, not only just to make it the most entertaining it can be to be put onto the WrestleMania card, possibly, but I mean, we just have so many female
deserving women.
superstars right now that Glenn just said
Mhm.
it, that deserve to be doing something. So why not throw the Raquels, the Ios, the Asukas, the Baileys, the Lyras, obviously Becky and
Mhm.
AJ, just throw them all into a giant ladder match and throw that IC title up at the top and say, hey, all you
Yeah,
people miss your Money in the Banks at WrestleMania. Here's your WrestleMania ladder match.
yeah. I mean, the men's IC title has a history of, great ladder matches. Let's get this
Yep.
legacy started with one for the women. So, yeah, I mean, I think definitely if we have all of them, like, in a ladder match for the IC title, that would be great, and it would do a lot for the title itself.
It would be the match of WrestleMania. I'm telling you right now.
Mhm.
Better than Punk and Roman, better than Cody and Randy. That would be all those amazing, like,
Yeah.
just that would be the best. Please do it. Like, I'm begging. Please do that.
Yeah, and then all I'm gonna say is if we do get a ladder match between all of them and AJ still wins,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
it would be
She can't fall through a ladder. She won't take no bumps. I don't think she can. Like, I
no,
literally
Yeah.
don't think she can take a fall through a ladder or something. So, like, yeah, I don't know.
We'll
yeah,
see.
it would not be great.
What about you,
Um,
Nick? What's your match of the week?
my match of the week is Penta versus El Grande Americano for the IC title, strictly because of Penta. Penta's obviously great in the ring, and he worked really well with Grande. But just how over Penta is as the champion, I'd say he's more over than Dom was when he first won. And the crowd reaction was crazy for him. And I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah.
especially for having a Penta not really be able to speak English all that well, and he cut that promo right before the match, and I mean, the crowd was like really into it, and that's real. That's really like why it's my match of the week. Like, and obviously the match was great on its own. The Mexican Destroyer to end it was, one of the better ones that we've seen him do. Yeah, that's why that's my match of the week. Any thoughts about the Penta versus El Grande?
I mean, it was definitely a great match. Those two have shown that they can work together very well, both on the WWE side, on the AAA side. And, Penta's just been putting in the work pretty much every single week since he's shown up. He's on Raw, he's putting on match of the night, one of, an option for match of the night, week after week after week. And now he's going to have the IC title. And he's going to be able to keep putting on matches like that. And he's one of those guys where it's like, hopefully we do get some sort of good story for him leading up to WrestleMania here before we get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
just before we get into the like superstar of the week or whatever, I just gotta say, like, definitely congrats to Penta because he's been a workhorse. He deserves it. The only thing I do disagree with is that you said he was more over than Dom when he first won the title. I don't know if you remember, Dom thought he was gonna get his ass booed when he won. He got cheered so much that when he went to the back, he had to come back out for an encore because
Yeah,
it was just so
that's true.
shocking that the crowd went crazy. And then after the match and the post and the after show, still chanting his name. Like, I won't say that Penta was more over than Dom for that moment of actually winning the belt, but Penta in general, his fan base is so deep
Yeah.
with the
Mhm.
luchas and then the Mexicans and all that. Like, he's gonna sell. It's gonna be Danhausen, Penta now, and then maybe Cody and all that. So just fantastic. Two guys selling shirts that don't make the most money. Put it that way in terms of their contract. So like,
Hmm.
we're in a good spot in terms of that. Congrats to Penta, deserves it. Let's see some banger matches now, as he always
Yeah,
does.
I think Penta is definitely able to like carry the momentum by himself better than Dom was as champ. You know, I don't think Penta's gonna get stale anytime soon. You know.
Definitely.
Let's move on to Superstar of the Week. I'm going to start just because my Superstar of the Week is Penta, and we just kind of talked about it for all the reasons why. What about you, David?
Yeah, so I mean, kind of for a lot of the same reasons that you just spoke of about Penta and all of us just spoke of about Penta. But my wrestler of the week this week is actually going to be Mello. He's been putting on these open challenges with the U.S. title. This week he got to face Dr. Wagner Jr. from AAA. And we've been talking a lot about AAA this week for a mostly Raw and Smackdown recap. But he got to face Dr. Wagner Jr. Another really good match, just proving Mello that can go in the ring with just about anybody. Obviously, there were some hiccups here and there, but I think that's to be expected when you have two guys from totally different companies, really, that are working together. You know, they may be under the WWE umbrella, but at the end of the day, those guys aren't working together. They're not seeing each other every day. They're not buddy-buddy. So to see that they can still put on a really good banger of a match in the ring, it was really entertaining, and I think Mello just deserves a little bit of flowers because he's been doing this, and this is by far some of the best work. Well, this is the best work for sure that he's put in since coming to the main roster, at least.
For
And
sure.
I'm just very excited to see it continue. He'd actually be, not to go back all the way to the start of our show, but we can kind of wrap it up here all together. Him and Trick would be a really good story, you know, kind of rekindle the NXT days and have a US feud, US title feud there. But my
Hmm.
rest of the week, Mello, great match with Dr. Wagner Jr. Great, just everything going on for Mello right now.
I agree. Melo's been impressive as the U.S. champ. What about you, Glenn? Your Superstar of the Week?
I have a superstar of the week and one last thing before we go. So
Uh-huh.
my superstar of the week is Cody Rhodes, and it's just for one.
Eh!
It's literally just for one reason, not because he's earned it, not because
You
he had the
sold
best
out.
match,
You sold
not
out.
because but because he has been now in 3 straight main event WrestleMania matches, and he is saving the company basically by just being there. No matter what he does, no matter how boring you say he is, and I say he is because he is, it doesn't matter. He's just there. He sells tickets. He's back with the belt again, and it's just like no matter how many times you call on the guy to do his job, he does it and he's saving the company. So like props to him for doing all that. When Cody was in the WWE the first time, never in 10 million years would I put Cody Rhodes in this spot. This dude was wearing masks, the dashing Cody Rhodes. He was in Legacy. He was doing all this low card stuff, entertaining stuff, by the way. Nothing, you Stardust, right? He did all this stuff. Never in 10 million years would you think he's gonna main event 3 straight damn WrestleManias, and that's what he's doing. So
Yeah.
props to him. I loved Dusty Rhodes and everything he did for the company. So giving his son the like proper send off, whatever, is a good thing. I'm not completely pissed off about Cody winning the belt. So yeah, that's my superstar of the week. And I just want to do one quick shout out before we end it. TNA had its best show since going to AMC last week. Not this week, the week before. If you're not watching TNA and you're a wrestling fan, you can watch it for free. Well, I think you need AMC to watch it or whatever. But if you have cable and can watch it, watch it. And you're going to see some of those people in WWE soon. Don't get stuck doing what you did with Danhausen where you don't know who the hell he is. Watch TNA. It's a very good show. If you're a diehard wrestling fan, it's worth watching. If you're a casual that
Mhm.
only watches during like Royal Rumble WrestleMania, don't watch it. But if you're a diehard wrestling fan and you just enjoy watching wrestling, TNA is putting on bangers. Just go watch it. Shout out to TNA. TNA, give us a call. You know, we'll talk about you too if you pay us. But there you go. So
I
want to
was
give
gonna
a
say
shout
we
out
are
to TNA
not
and Cody
sponsored by
Rhodes.
TNA. All right. That's it for us this week. Make sure you like, and subscribe on YouTube, and like us on Facebook, and follow us on TikTok.
We got some good things coming up. Stay tuned. We got good. We don't want to spoil. We got good things coming. Stay tuned.
We will see y'all next week.